Dana's gonna be pissed. I hate to say I told you so, but I don't know how anyone was counting out Justin Gaethje against an untested Paddy Pimblett. Boys, like, what did we think was really going to happen here? Paddy was just going to come out and knock Justin Gaethje out? You thought he was going to what? Take him down and do what? Look, this was an amazing fight, absolute war. Paddy the Baddy showed that he has a chin and Scousers don't get knocked out. But Justin Gaethje is the man. Oh, God. Look, his last three losses were against Max Holloway, Khabib, and Charles Oliveira. Like, Paddy Pimblett would not have done any better against any of those guys, and we know now that that is the truth, okay? So I'm glad that Justin Gaethje got the win. Dana has to be so annoyed. If you saw all the people with the wigs as Paddy was coming out, doing the dance, they have their wristbands on, they're going, Dana's just counting up the dollars like crazy. But Justin Gaethje was landing bombs on Paddy Pimblett. So let's get into it. I brought up a couple of clips that I think that you'll find really interesting. I mean, I'm sure that almost all of us have seen the fight, but if you haven't, here are a couple of big moments. This was right in the first round. Now, an interesting thing is that Paddy Pimblett went to his corner and said that he got hit in the body. And afterwards, as well, in the Octagon interview, he said that it was a body shot that really had him hurt. And that was why things started to go bad for him. But to me, it looked like the shots that he got to the face, I don't know, but right at the start, you do see him buckle a little bit. So maybe tell me if you think that's the body shot that he's talking about here. Look at this. Oh. See, he buckled there. I'm going to bring that back just a sec. But you see how he buckled? But watch this. I think that this is probably what dropped you, Paddy. I don't think that it was the body shots there. I think it was these shots to the face that you're about to take. Whoa! Oh, see, look how much Justin was whiffing those. But just did you see those two shots? Bang! One more time. Whoa! Whiff! Bang! Bang! Down, and then just a bunch of ground and pound. Honestly, Paddy's lucky that he survived this first round. Justin Gaethje would also do this awesome thing where he would he would basically front collar headlock Paddy and just lock him down to the ground as a way to drain a lot of his energy, but also a way to feed in a bunch of punches at the same time and wear down that chin. But I don't know how much you would have to wear down Paddy's chin to knock him out, because Justin Gaethje was literally landed some of the hardest shots he's ever put in his career on Paddy's chin after softening him up the whole time. And yeah, Paddy got dropped a couple times, but all things considered, he did very well. Now, something that has to be talked about in this fight is the blatant fouls that were happening. There was an eye poke that got, separated. There was a flying knee nut shot that Paddy Pimblett gave to Justin Gaethje in return that also got sort of separated in time for. But there were some meaningful fouls from Justin Gaethje to Paddy Pimblett. 2 pokes in the eye that weren't caught, and 1 knee to the nuts. I mean, it technically could have been on the belt line. And also this poke that you're about to see, while I think it was the most impactful one in the entire fight, you could argue that because of the fact that it was his thumb as it came in for the punch, it wasn't really the same thing as a Cyril Gane double eye poke or a Song Yadong impregnating Henry Cejudo. But, I mean, tell me whether or not you think that this had a big impact on the fight. I'm curious. Oh, and then bang! He's like, what's happening? And then Gaethje's now on top, landing a bunch of ground and pound because of that. I have to assume that did something to him, he's already wincing before the shot just comes right after it. Oh, right in the eye. I don't know, at the end of the day, if it doesn't get called by the ref, what are you meant to do, right? But I personally feel like that had a huge impact on the fight. Maybe not an impact on the fight in that it was going to change the results, but a bunch of unnecessary damage that Paddy Pimblett copped for a foul, right? yeah, there are a few other of those ones, but at the end of the day, Paddy Pimblett takes the loss like a champ, gives it up to Justin Gaethje. What an absolute war, man. The rest of the Paramount card honestly felt like a little bit of a letdown. It started really well with like 4 back-to-back KOs, with a few of them being buzzer beaters, like last second of the round or last few seconds of the fight. And then it just went to like decision city, starting with Ateba Gauthier, the mini Nagano, who got like a 3-round decision. And then obviously Umar Nurmagomedov went to decision. And obviously the women's fight went to decision. But Gene Silva, Arnold Allen, even though that one was also a pretty fun fight, also going to decision. Like the Waldo Cortez Acosta Derek Lewis fight technically ended in a finish, but it was basically like Derek Lewis just fell on his butt and then let Waldo come and beat him up. And then even the Sean O'Malley Song Yadong fight, that I thought O'Malley was going to stiffen Yadong. Like, what the hell, man? And he did not end up stiffening Yadong. Instead, he beat him in a 29-28 decision win. It was a good fight. I think that one was very close. You definitely do give him the third round and probably the first. Second round obviously goes to Song Yadong, but I don't know. What do you think of the rest of the card? Like, if you watched it, I felt like overall for the first card of the Paramount era, it was probably a bit of a letdown, especially from Paramount's perspective. Apparently, they were putting on a ton of ads, like just non-stop ads as well. So if you watch the Paramount broadcast, tell me what happened there, because I just used UFC Fight Pass, and I didn't really get many ads at all throughout that. I did get some ads, and I usually never get ads on Fight Pass, but anyway, Justin Gaethje got the win. I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so, boys. You can't count me out when I do my final predictions, other than, let's just not count the ones where I get them wrong, okay? But I pretty much nailed this one. Justin Gaethje took Paddy Pimblett into deep water. Round 1, Paddy Pimblett looked super confident, ready to come out and do what he needed to do. By round 5, he looked like a different man and that he did not really want to be there anymore. Another funny thing that came up that I saw is that, like, before the fight, Polymarket gifted him this like chain, this $500,000 chain, and I bet they also paid him a ton of money to like wear that chain in the octagon after the fight and everything like that as well. But Home of Fight here, they're like, what are your thoughts? Is this chain good luck, or does Paddy not even need it? And just some of the comments here are like hilarious. This aged well. Like, this other guy is like a lock an hour before the fight starts and then just gets ended. Like, dude, I think I'm probably pretty happy just because like I won a big parlay. I think without the parlay, I honestly would have been like, yeah, the card was all right with a banger main event, but I needed Sean O'Malley, Justin Gaethje, Umar, and I think that was it for the parlay that I ended up winning. So Umar felt like a lock, but Sean O'Malley, I was like biting my nails the entire time. And then Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. When it gets to round 5, I'm like, Justin, hold it together just for 5 minutes. Please keep it together for 5 minutes. Come on, all you got to do, 5 minutes, please, please, please. But he did very, very well. His game plan was just keep his head in Paddy's chest and keep going forward. He did that. He was whiffing on a lot of shots. Probably putting way too much power into them than he needed to, because he was still able to drop Paddy with shots that weren't even like 100%. So, yeah. Oh, it's been too long without fights, guys. 6 weeks. This was insane. I'm excited. I'm so glad that we're doing another pay-per-view, or whatever they call it, I guess, next week with Volk versus Lopez too. I'm excited to put out my picks videos for that, because we all know I'm going to be right again. Happy New Year, boys.